another edition of Grown, Sexy, Singles Over 40. I am your host, DeShannon, and guess what, guys? It is season 7. We made it to another season. Thank you so much for rocking with me all last season. Your comments was welcome. All the love you showed us was amazing. And if you can see, to my right is the guy that you guys seem to really enjoy when he's on the show, but I have an announcement. I've got an announcement for season 7 that he is now my co-host. So welcome, Grown and Sexy, to George. How does it feel to be a co-host?
It feels great. I mean, I think that the audience have spoken, and I think that you all welcome me, and I really appreciate being here, and I really enjoyed my time, and I want you to enjoy yourself as well.
Okay, so, all right, but you know, this season we've got a lot of things in store for you. We're going to be talking about age ain't nothing but a number. And we're also going to be talking with someone that's in the ministry, has been in church their whole life. How is dating when you're single, saved, and sanctified? But then me and George are going to come back and talk to you about how things are going with us and online dating and dating at this age. And then we're just going to help the people. Right. We want to just help the people because we both are life coaches in our life, among other things. And we just want you we want to share a little bit of ourselves with you this season. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely. That's correct.
Because we want to be able to help you live the best versions of your life. You know, I say that all the time. I say I want you to live beyond good, and that's where we're trying to get to. But this show is a little bit different.
That's correct, yeah.
Because with it being his first time being the co-host, season 7, we're going to actually let him ask the questions. Now, I tried to give him some guidelines, but I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know what he's going to ask. He's already been clowning me on my dress. I think I look amazing. So if y'all think this dress is nice, please let me know. He said I was getting ready for the Oscars. He had jokes. But I thought it was pretty. I thought it would be something that I'd go date night for, you know, a little upscale date night. But maybe it's too much. Y'all will definitely let me know. But let's get right into it. You know, in season 6, we had part 1 and part 2 of What a Man Wants.
Right.
And it was some interesting feedback. I actually saw a comment actually recently, today actually, where a guy said, everything you said, I was combative. He thought I was combative. Or that I said, maybe that's true or maybe it's not true.
Right.
He was very much so on your side.
Well, I mean, he's a man.
He's a man. So we wanted to get into the opposite side of that, what a woman wants. In full, you know, let's do a disclaimer. I don't know every woman. I can only talk about my point of view, the women that I know, the women that's around me.
Correct.
So it may not apply to you, and that's okay. We don't have to apply to everybody, but try to get something out of this. So I'm going to turn this over to my new co-host, and he's going to ask what a woman wants.
Right. Well, one of the things I want to ask, I want to start off and just make sure that we're on the same page. I want to take some things off the table. You know, obviously, in my opinion, most women want a tall, attractive, educated, financially stable man that's actually worked with his hands, a whole bunch of things like that. So I'm going to take all that off the table.
Okay.
So with that being said, personality-wise, what are you looking for in a mate?
For personality, I like to laugh, and I've got what's considered dry humor. So I want somebody that we can enjoy life. Like, everything doesn't have to be serious. I'm serious at my job all day. And so I want to be around somebody that is serious when it's time to be serious, but knows how to, you know, have fun too.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So what's an ideal date? You know, what's a perfect date night? You know, I know that you have on your nice Oscars dress and everything, but you know, I mean, is that an ideal date or what? Tell me what an ideal date is.
No, not for me. Now, I do like to dress up and go somewhere every now and then, but what people don't know is that I'm just a simple country girl from Alabama. And so ideal date night might be different for me. It could literally just be because I don't watch a lot of TV.
Right.
I don't have time to watch a lot of TV. So if you've got a movie that maybe you've watched
Right.
that I can watch, and you don't mind me asking questions, because some people want it just like quiet, but it's no shoes on, curled up on the couch, maybe a blanket, and watching something that I don't get to watch.
Okay,
That would
okay.
be really cool for me if I knew you.
Okay, I was going to say that's somewhere further down the line.
That's further
Okay.
down the line, like a new date night. I'm new to the area. I came to Georgia in a pandemic, so I don't know all the good restaurants or good places to go. So take me somewhere I haven't been.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't even have to, it can be anywhere. We don't even have to get out the car. I kind of like to sightsee neighborhoods and stuff like that. So that would be a cool date night for me.
Okay. Have you ever been to drive-in movie theater?
I haven't, but I would love to. I haven't done that since high school.
Okay.
So, hey, if you're out there, sir, and you shooting your shot, drive in. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. So since you're dating currently, what's a funny or interesting date that you've had recently or in the last couple of years? And really, I prefer the funny.
Okay, well, I hadn't been single that long. I mean, I've been single long enough, over a year, almost 2 years. And sometimes people don't look like their pictures.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And so the person their face looked exactly like their picture, and we had FaceTimed. And so even my oldest daughter saw his video, like we was video chatting. But when he got out the car, he didn't quite look the same. And I don't want to say what he looked like because he could be watching the show, but it was a very remarkable difference. But I said to myself that night, I don't need on a pair of Spanx because we're going to eat good.
Okay. So when you did the video chat, I mean, wasn't you able to view him as a person?
No, they had it like.
So he did what you all do. You do the angles and.
I guess, because that was shocking. But I've also had people that had missing teeth.
Okay.
Or very short. You know, they want to know how tall I am. I'm 5'2". I'm 5'6" with heels, so I'm 5'2", relatively short, and they were shorter than me.
They were shorter than you. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and they were sitting on a stool.
Okay. So short is out of the question.
Well, I mean, 5'2" is most people are taller than that.
Okay. All right. So I guess being short is a deal breaker. What's
It's
another
not really
deal breaker?
It probably is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Smoking is a deal
Smoking.
breaker. But let me tell you, the number one deal breaker for me is somebody that's mean.
Mean?
And when I say mean is when they kind of shroud it in jokes, but it's mean. I don't like mean. You know, just mean for no reason. I don't like mean.
Well, I mean, can mean be taken out of context? I mean, you can be very
Yes.
direct with some people and they take that as being mean.
No, I mean, sometimes people go out of their way to be mean. I was in a long-term relationship with somebody that was abusive and was mean.
Okay.
Said mean things to hurt you, and I don't want that. That's a deal breaker.
Well, I
immediately.
can understand that. When some people say mean, that could be very direct, and so that's taken out of context
direct.
sometimes.
So I'm talking about mean, just
Okay.
saying mean things.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Would you ever approach someone that you're interested in? And I know that that's something that, I think that some people in this day and age find that I know a lot of women that say, no, I would never approach a person. I mean, you have to understand, too, the demographics are skewed away from you all. And so if you see someone that you're interested in, you mean to tell me you wouldn't let them know that you're interested in them?
I probably need to work on that, and I will probably purpose to do that. Because I think the fear of rejection is a little bit troubling, or it creates anxiety. So without knowing who's who, or if he was married or something like that, I don't think I'm ready to do that. But I might try it. It may benefit me to
Well, let's
try
say
it.
a singles mixer. So you would assume everyone is single.
Okay, if I assumed everyone was single, I would probably view that as a networking opportunity.
Okay.
And so then maybe if we network, it would, I might thought he was handsome, and I'd use that as networking.
Okay. But everyone that you date shouldn't be misconstrued as being a possible business opportunity. I'm talking about someone you're strictly looking to date.
I would probably approach it as a business opportunity.
Okay. So with that being said, does he have to have a business person mindset? Does he have to be, a person that's actually looking to do business with you? Because it could be just someone that's, okay.
I don't think so, but we all have prayers, or we've written down things that we want and desire, and long term, I want to be in business with my partner.
Right.
I think that that's just one way for us to connect on another level, because I'm sure we've got our own careers that,
Right.
I mean, there's boundaries in careers. I'm so busy at work, it's like my husband can't be posted up at my office, but that's a way for us to connect mentally.
Yeah.
And then I think that would serve us well.
That makes sense. Now, I know we've done a show already on age ain't nothing but a number, but what's your dating range?
My dating range is probably 48 to 55 or 6, which is, I know, is small.
Mm-hmm.
I know that range is very small, maybe 58. Wouldn't go lower than 47 because I'm 51, and
Almost.
by the time this
Right there,
airs,
yeah.
so I don't want anybody younger
Okay.
than me like that. I don't.
Okay. Well,
I know that show, that person was like 20 years younger.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
Yeah.
I think I kind of want somebody a little bit more settled, and I don't want to be ripping and running. I kind of like to be in my room and watching TV under a blanket most days.
Okay.
And so I want that person to kind of have that same mindset.
Okay. So it would be okay if that person had small children or teenage children or
I
what?
mean, not my grandson is 4.
4?
And so, and my youngest is 15, and so it would be tough to do small children again.
So if he had a 15-year-old, that would be okay?
Oh, yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. So has dating been different since you do have a 15-year-old, or has that not really been a factor?
It's not been a factor because the way I approach it, I involve my children in my life, and I know a lot of people say, oh, no, I don't, do this, but I want them to know that mom has friends just like they
Right.
have friends.
Right.
And I might go to dinner with my friends. I might go to the movies or wherever with my friend. And sometimes we're friends for a long time, and sometimes we're not friends for a long time. And so I just look at it that way, and that's how I explain it. So it's not like weird or awkward, or my youngest daughter is not feeling like I'm not spending time with her or things like that. She just knows that I have friends.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you said that, because some women that a man meets and they have small children and teenage children, and I know they say, well, I don't want you to meet my children. Well, I understand that, but at the same time, at some point, that's probably going to be somewhere that you all meet, and should never be a surprise. I mean, if you've been dating me for 3, 4, 5 months, and now I'm finally meeting your children, and we're at the point where we're serious, that could be awkward on both ends.
Well, I think for me, though, the approach about it is different. Like, they would already have heard your voice, or
Right.
they know your name, or
yeah.
pictures or something like that. And so it's probably just timing.
Right.
Like, we've just not set a time to say, let's just do family dinner and move along like that. But for us, it wouldn't be as awkward because my girls especially want me to
Be happy.
Yeah, and have somebody.
Yeah.
They don't want me in the bed at 9 o'clock. They're like, you're not going to, somewhere, kind of thing.
What I've learned is sometimes it's best not to say a whole lot at all
Yes, Lord.
when people are going through, because you can mean
Yes,
well,
yes.
but you can say
You just don't
the
know.
worst
in the world.
thing,
Yeah.
trying to be deep
Sure,
and trying to be retrospective.
Yes.
So, but for what could somebody who's going through something say to somebody and say, well, yeah, you just got to kind of move on.
Oftentimes they're uncomfortable with where you are, and that has more to do with them than it does you.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost in. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. You're something that can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
People will share their testimonies and stories about having purchased a home. And then they'll pull equity out of that home and maybe purchase a duplex. And then they'll rent that out and start making more money. And they're taking equity out of that and they're buying a small building that has multiple units. Could you kind of bring that to life for us a little bit?
Yeah, even though you have a house, if you have equity in it, you can utilize that equity to go and do other things with it. Don't look at it as being overwhelmed. I tell the entrepreneurs, just have a partner like a realtor that knows the steps, and we'll be there to walk you through every single step of the process.
So what does a man have to do to say, okay, you know what? We've dated X amount of time. We're serious about each other. What does it take to take it to the next level where if he asked you to marry him, you would say yes?
Decision. I think love is a decision, and you have to decide that, and that along with that is a commitment. And I say it's a decision because you can fall in and out of love whenever you want to. It's why people fall in and out. But we got to decide that we're just going to stick it out together. You're not going to love everything about them.
Right.
If there's going to be some things that drive you absolutely insane, but do I like you enough to stick this out? And that is what I'm looking for somebody to do, to look me in my face and say, DeShannon, no matter what, I don't care, we're not breaking up, divorce is off the table. If I gotta stay downstairs and you stay upstairs, we will work this out. That is what I'm looking for. And if the person is able to do that, I think that right there would sell me.
Okay, that makes it, that's a great answer. Now, another thing that, because in this day and age, Black women are especially more educated than most Black men. Is that a factor?
It's not, because education, you talking about as far as schooling?
Yeah, education.
Okay, so
and income. I mean, we'll go to that next, but education
well, education
primarily.
just means you finish something. You sat in class for 3 months at a time,
Yeah.
you know, for several semesters and finish something. If that's something you want to accomplish, I am going to push you to be great, because I want my partner to be the best that they can be. But if that's not your interest, that's okay. But because you're probably smart in ways that I'm not.
Right.
And so I don't want you to have the same level of smartness. I know I just made that up, but
Right.
I want to be able to come to you for advice, and you come to me for advice in the areas that I'm an expert in, and I want to come to you in the areas that you're an expert in. So that's neither here nor there.
People will share their testimonies and stories about having purchased a home. And then they'll pull equity out of that home and maybe purchase a duplex. And then they'll rent that out and start making more money. And they're taking equity out of that and they're buying a small building that has multiple units. Could you kind of bring that to life for us a little bit?
Yeah, even though you have a house, if you have equity in it, you can utilize that equity to go and do other things with it. Don't look at it as being overwhelmed. I tell the entrepreneurs, just have a partner like a realtor that knows the steps, and we'll be there to walk you through every single step of the process.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost in. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something that can count on to be free. If it's something
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
What I've learned is sometimes it's best not to say a whole lot at all
Yes, Lord.
when people are going through, because you can mean
Yes,
well,
yes.
but you can say
You just don't
the
know.
worst
thing in the world.
thing,
Yeah.
trying to be deep
Sure,
and trying to be retrospective.
Yes.
So, but for what could somebody who's going through something say to somebody and say, well, yeah, you just got to kind of move on.
Oftentimes they're uncomfortable with where you are, and that has
Yeah.
more to do with them than it does you.
Well, with you having all these different platforms, you're actually a boss of many people. You know, you carry yourself a certain way. Is that intimidating to a lot of men, in your opinion?
They say it is, but that's because they don't know me. And so I try not
would
to
agree.
let people,
I would agree. They don't know you.
They don't. They have Googled me. They've seen me on YouTube. They've seen me on platforms. They saw me at a conference. They saw me doing a leadership something, and that's who they see. They don't see that that's what I do.
Right.
You know? That's just what I do, and I do that well, but at home, I'm no shoes on, I'm outside at the mailbox, I'm like no shoes, I don't drive with shoes on, I like to cook, and I like for people to enjoy my food,
Right.
and, I don't have makeup on, I'm just at home. But they tend to always want to see what they Googled or what they saw on stage, and they don't. Or in my opinion, I haven't found anyone yet that wants to get to know me.
Okay. Well, how do you fix that? I mean, do you date differently, or do you date? Okay.
I date differently. So when they say, "Hey, what do you do?" I say, "Oh, I'm in healthcare,
Right.
and I have 3 children, 2 adults and 1 in high school."
Right.
And that's the extent of it. And then hopefully the conversation will, what do you like to do? Or, it progresses. So I don't tell them what I do, and I don't tell them what other people see me as.
Okay. Well, some of it would be obvious, because if you took the average man that's saying, okay, this is one of my date night dresses, so that would already give him an idea of what type person you are. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know. Look to me deceiving. Y'all don't know if this dress came from Shein for $15 or what.
Yeah, I understand.
So I am a very simple person outside of what I do.
Yeah.
And that's the person I want them to get to know. Now, I can be that social butterfly, the person that's on top of the world, on stage kind of thing as well, but not at home.
Okay. Well, this is what I want to tell the audience. Most people don't know this. DeShannon is very domestic. She can cook. She's she's totally different from what you see currently. So any men out there that are looking for, someone that has all these qualities in a woman, beautiful, got herself together, financially stable, and this is a good woman. Why, just go ahead and contact her and let her know that you're available.
Please.
And don't be scared. Don't be scared. And matter of fact, don't be afraid to be the man that you are.
Right? Because somebody's got to take me out these dating streets. I don't want to be on this show for 10 more seasons or whatever long. I want to move over to Marriage Matters.
Yeah.
But he's right. I love my family, my grandson, but I have a unique family, and so that's challenging. People have to understand how my family dynamics is, and some people may or may not be ready for that. So.
Right. So this is what I've learned. Referrals are very good, especially if someone really knows you. Say, for instance, because I know you.
Yes.
And so, because I know you, I have an idea of maybe what type man that I would think that would be good for you, because probably most...
Why haven't you referred me then, sir?
Well, I don't have a lot of good prospects. Either they're taken or they ain't worth a quarter, being honest with you. But I mean, they're obviously, and that's why we have this show. Some of the things that women look for are something that men not only aren't interested in, but they're just, just from a man's point of view, I can tell you a whole bunch of things that good qualities, and you may say, well, that's not what I thought it was. So, an attractive quality that I see in you is just something totally different that you would see in yourself and women see in yourself. So it's different.
Well, I mean, and that is why we need to talk about it, because one of the top things for me is I want to feel safe. I mean, it's silly, maybe, but I want somebody to hold my hand.
Oh.
I think that is the sweetest thing that you can do. And so, I mean, men may not even consider that a thing, but that's like important to me.
Okay. Well, since you said that, I'll say that's something that, well, obviously I'm only speaking for me. That's not something I enjoy doing. And I'm not saying affection, but I'm saying as far as holding hands and all this,
But I love it.
Okay.
And so sometimes you have to compromise.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm not saying be glued and hold hands every second of the day.
Yeah, you
but
are.
Probably. But like if we're walking or if you're helping me cross the street, or I just think that that's sweet.
Okay. That makes sense. So, do you know your love language?
I do. It's words of affection or affirmation. And the reason why is because I had struggled really, really. I had some very difficult years with body image, body color. I was often told I was fat and nobody's going to want you. And, I can't stand to hear your voice. And that really, really messed with my psyche. And so therapy has helped. I'm still in therapy. And I have to talk about some things that bother me because I'm constantly thinking that it's me, and it could not be me. It could be them, but I'm gonna question that. And I still have, so when you said that about my dress, I immediately wanted to change.
Nah, that would.
I honestly wanted to change. I started having a little bit of anxiety because I was like, I thought it looked good in the bathroom, and
well, I
maybe
never said it didn't look
doesn't.
good. I just said you look like you're ready for the Oscars, which is a compliment.
And
That's why
so
I say we think totally different.
Totally different, and so, but I'm working on that. So.
Well, it's funny that you say that because you said that someone told you that your voice that's irritating. And a lot of times it comes from envy because obviously we all know that that's how you make a living.
Yes.
You make your living based on your voice.
I do.
And so a lot of times you actually take that negative and make it a positive. And
Yes.
they're envious of that.
Well, people know me for my accent.
Yeah.
And it's so unique that people remember it. And so I do make a living talking. And so, but that, when you say things, that's what I was talking about, being mean. Things that will hurt a person. And so because when you hear it so much, you almost don't want to talk anymore. And it's like, but that's how I make a
Well,
living.
from a professional standpoint, it does you well. Personally, that you know, and you and I've had this conversation because you know how I feel about that as well. So I understand. So that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. Okay. So so finances.
Well, financially, you know, I've been in healthcare a long time, and I was a CEO in my 30s. So for 20 years, I've been an executive. And so money is relative to me. If you don't like to spend money, you're going to have to teach me that, because I think God is my unfailing supply. There's a supply for every demand. And every 15 days, I make more money. And so I'm a spender.
Okay.
And so, but I don't mind spending for everybody. So it's like, you know, for you, you don't know this, but you've got stuff coming because you're my co-host. You know, so I've started buying you things that I think you need. Or if
Okay.
I think you need something and I know that you're not going to get it for yourself, I would just deliver it to your house.
I heard that. Hey, you listen, you fellas listening out there, she will buy you things that you need that you don't even ask for. So listen.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. So let me ask you this: when you're dating someone, and okay, obviously it's getting to be serious and things like that. What kind of decisions do you make based on someone you're dating? Like, if that person is looking to possibly move out of state or move and, you know, take another position at a job, do you consult that person if you are serious with them, or do you?
I think so, because, you know, we're at the age now where we can get on a plane. We can drive. It's not going to be a hardship if you meet somebody in Texas or California. Just get on a plane and see them. That's not an issue for me. But I think if I thought we were dating and then you decided to move, I would say, well, maybe I was wrong, you know, because I'm at the age where I can live anywhere. You know, I only have one daughter in high school. That's early high school. It's not her senior year or anything like that. We were prior military before,
Right, so you know how to-
we
yeah.
know how to pack up
And
and
move,
move
yeah.
and that kind of thing. So that's not an issue. I think being together is the issue. How are we okay being apart for a couple years, or do somebody needs to move, or do we live out of two households?
Okay, a couple of years. Okay, that's strange. I mean, I wouldn't consider dating someone long term out of state for months, much less years.
Well, I mean, and that's just the difference. I think if I felt like it was worth it and there was no other way around it, but I just think we would just live out of two households, and I've done that before, so I know what that's like. Like, you just have two households in two separate states, so that is not a problem for me.
Okay, okay. Well, we did talk about deal breakers. We talked about finances. We talked about education. We talked about the intangibles in dating. I know we did mention an ideal date for you.
Yeah.
Is there, let's say, for instance, you and he were going out on a date like this, and he didn't know how to dress or how to carry himself, and at this age, would that be someone that you would actually date, considering you're that different? Say, for instance, he never owned a suit, or, you know, would you think that you're compatible with him, or would you even consider dating him?
Well, I don't know, because who doesn't own a suit? I don't know.
You'd be surprised.
But I mean, if you didn't own a suit and we were going somewhere that required a suit, I would tell you, do you have one? And
yeah.
you'd say yes or no. And hopefully you wouldn't be offended if I accompanied you, because there's certain things like that I think will catch a person's eye. I'm like, ooh, I really, really like that.
Yeah.
And they may not be, they may be like, I don't know, but they've got to trust me enough.
Okay.
And then they'll see when they put it on, it may be amazing.
Right. Well, really what I was basically pointing out to is that you're dating someone that has a different, not only taste level, but someone that that has never experienced some of the things you experienced. So
Well, I
if you
mean,
want to date that person, go to a conference and things like that,
I
and
think
that's not
it
something
would
that.
be okay if they were open to being in my world.
Okay.
And I would have to be open to being in their world, because some people look at my shoe choice and say, I would never. I would never. But I think the more they see that, I could probably persuade them to at least get one pair.
Okay. I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So, being, like I say, a professional and things of that nature, have you dated? I know that you've dated online, right? Talked about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anybody in Georgia, because I moved in the middle of a pandemic, and so that was my choice. My oldest daughter was like, "Mom, you've got to do something," and so that's how I've been meeting people. But I've been open to the date, to enjoy the date, even if I don't enjoy the person.
Okay.
And so I purpose to have a good time anyway, because I done got dressed. I done put some lipstick on. I'm gonna have a good time, and I like to eat, so just
Okay.
go to a restaurant and I'm good.
Okay. Now I know I did take away some things off the table as far as
did.
physical appearance, things like that. Do you have a physical person? You like facial hair? Do you like bald head? Do you like, do you have a physical type that you
Well,
like?
I mean, because what's handsome to me may not be handsome to somebody else. So I think sometimes bald is handsome, but it's not on everyone. Sometimes beards look really, really sexy, but sometimes not on everyone. So I think it just depends on that person. But initially, I either think you're handsome or not. You don't grow on
Right,
me, and I
okay.
don't want to squint and hope
Yeah.
you look like somebody
Yeah.
with my glasses off, because
Right.
I cannot see without my glasses. So if I got to keep my glasses off with you, it probably ain't working out.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you.
How do you think I would look with a bald head?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you'll never know. You'll never find out. So I just asked.
Okay. But seriously, if I'm walking around with you and I keep my glasses off, I don't even know what you look like.
Okay.
So that's an indicator.
Okay. So there we have it.
Okay, so listen, tonight Georgia's got a chance to ask me some questions, and you've got a chance to get to know who I am. He's got to ask me some personal questions about people I date. He told y'all to jump into my DMs. Please do. Now, I've had a couple of marriage proposals in last season, but a couple of them was in Spanish, and so I had to get a translator, because I'm not. I love my Hispanic population. I love you guys, but I promise you, I'm just HBCU black. I'm just regular black. Not that I ain't I'm just saying, those proposals, I didn't know what they said. And so, but I thank you for them. And, until the deacons, that's, y'all 70. And I know you telling me that you got 2 checks, because you done retired twice, but I probably ain't for you. I'm just going to say I appreciate it, because you made me feel good. But y'all probably need to go with Mother Ethel or something, because I probably ain't it for you. But keep it coming, because I'm trying to get through every single one of them. And I appreciate you guys so much. And I'm joking, but I'm kind of serious too. So this has been another episode of Grown and Sexy.
Singles over 40.
Singles over 40. My new co-host has got a chance to see what it's like on the end of asking the questions. How did that feel for you?
Well, I feel comfortable because I know you.
Yes,
There you
and
go.
so we're here we're here once a week, and then there's some replays. So join us, like us, share, all of that good stuff. Continue to help us help you. Until next week, guys, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.